had to stop saying it at some points because nobody believed me. Like, how can you be a man, a good-looking man, for that matter?
I believe you. I was a virgin until I got married.
Exactly.
So that's very true. All right. So our friend, who are these people in my ear shouting? Guys, come on now. Believe me. Honestly, you have to. All right. So. First topic here, quick fire. Nigerian virgin recounts how she abruptly ended an all-expense-paid trip to Maldives and returned to Nigeria after the man she traveled with made an obscene request. This is what she says. Some men can be so unreasonable. This guy begged me to go on a vacation with him to Maldives because he doesn't have anyone to go with him. Though all expense was on you. Getting there, I discovered that he will be staying in the same room with me. I had to book the next available flight the next morning to return home. I mean, he asked me to keep him company, not to be sleeping together. I can't give my virginity because of one common vacation. My future husband deserves better.
I deserve better, baby. I love that.
That's actually very impressive.
I have a few questions, however, gang, support me on here. Now, my question is, a man asks you to come with him on a vacation. You're a virgin. And you're telling me that you did not understand the undertones or read between the lines of what he's saying. If you go on a vacation with anybody, first of all, aren't you supposed to be asking all the necessary questions? One, so am I going to have my own place, my own bed? What exactly do you need me there for? Is she that naive to think that there would be no extracurricular or extra advantage on his side in asking her to come? That's just my own question. No, I don't know whether she's that dumb or conservative to think that there's no other.
You said the key word there, naive, but I also want to toss in the word. I think she's very silly and almost stupid as well. To just jump. I mean, what's your relationship with this person? He's not your family member. That's going to give you an all-expense-paid trip out of the country to another place, whether he was in his own room or not. There's certain questions you need to ask. What am I doing? A lot of hungry people that are so greedy jump on all of these things with no expectations. And a man from nowhere is taking you to another country. Even if he had his own room, you should ask certain questions. What is he doing this for and why? Now all of a sudden you now figure out that the guy wants more than just whatever it is.
Apart from that, didn't she hear stories of all the other girls? Didn't they tell you that?
Yeah, but to be honest, right, I believe that, let's call a spade a spade. I believe in direct communication. So if the man did not tell her, young lady, you're going to Maldives and I want to shift your womb, I think she has every right.
So let's rephrase what you said from before. Not let's call it spade a spade. Let's call her...
No, but seriously, I mean, if the man did not say, okay, this is what the mission is, you don't ask. Assumption is the worst form of knowledge.
Yeah,
so in her defense, in her defense, she might have met nice guy. Her father might be a really nice guy. There are some people that have never really experienced poverty. I'm serious. I've met soft girls in this life, and it's normal to them. Vacations are normal to them. It's like taking you on a date. It's like taking you to a restaurant. It's normal to them.
Obviously, he's a very extraordinary type of guy.
But here's the thing. At the same time, I feel some people might not be that direct, and they believe their actions speak louder. So they believe you actually know these things. My problem with this story is it still doesn't mean that something should fly. But my own is the way people yes, you meet soft girls. That's why soft girls put themselves in so many tight situations. I mean, why leave?
Are you married?
No, I'm not married.
You seen anyone?
A lot.
No, are we in the relationship together?
It's fine. Don't worry. I'll stick to that.
To be clear, I'm very single.
Okay. Do you guys hear that?
Very single.
But what do you think about this very naive girl?
Yeah, I think, as you said, very naive. This day and age, we know that what happens, we know. Let's just say we know. We all know. So for her to just think that she just has like a free pass, expense paid trip to where is it? Maldives. Okay, it was something that was coming from the kindness of the guy's heart. She should have mentioned. She should have asked those questions.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. The same way you say he should have been direct, she should have asked questions as well.
Yeah, but he never mentioned that he wanted to sleep with her. Okay, now
Men don't mention that.
You never. Oh, you do.
Wait.
You mentioned whether there's going to be sleeping with or not, eh?
No, I'm saying I do.
You mentioned that. This is what we're going to.
I'm using that as an example to say that I communicate.
Right,
I thought you said you were a virgin.
No, I'm not talking of. I'm not saying I want to sleep. I don't sleep with people.
So what do you communicate?
You understand? I communicate other things. You know what I mean?
He doesn't sleep with people because the action is not while sleeping.
Obviously, Hero's dad is also a celebrity, so he doesn't want to spoil his reputation. It's all good.
But I get where the girl is coming from, but I think it works on both parties. Yes, the guy should be direct to let her know that this is what's going up. But he's using his actions because he expects that you should know. Yeah. She, at the same time, should ask the questions and be like, I hope this trip, you don't have any expectations.
You know what?
You get where I'm coming from?
When the girl fails to ask these questions, it kind of leaves the guy the room to just make assumptions.
Exactly.
That, okay, yeah.
The guy is used to that.
She didn't ask the question.
Yeah, exactly.
Every girl would ask the question.
Boom.
No, every girl will ask the question.
Okay, you just think that someone just woke up on a good day.
Hero. Okay, let me ask you. Have you slept with every girl that you've been in a confined space with?
Obviously, I haven't.
Exactly.
It's on TV, that's why it's just
No, but here's the thing.
Well,
no, he assumes it's yes.
Then
that's why women have to be vocal and say no. I don't want, stop, and all of those words. Because we don't communicate that, the assumption is consent.
So, gang, we have to move on, but I'd like to speak for every married man on this table that, hey, we understand what's going on, not because, but just because. In any case, now, check this, guys. A Nigerian man seeks advice after discovering, this is going to crack you up. After discovering his 2 children are not biologically his following the death of his wife. He says, my wife passed away and left me with 2 children, but I just found out through DNA that they are not my children. I am 36 years old. Please advise me.
Wow. This is a very funny and sad story.
You got kids? No, you're a virgin. You got kids that you know of?
I don't think you should assume he doesn't.
I don't believe him. I'm just giving him
I don't think you should assume he doesn't.
Yeah.
But I don't for sure.
That you know of.
I know of. I don't know.
How many ladies have taken out those? How many ladies have taken out babies for you, though?
No, none of. 0.
So,
I'm aware of.
Okay, so let me go to the married man with 2 daughters now. If you were to be in this man's situation, God forbid, but you realize that this happens to you, how old are your kids?
10 and 12.
10 and 12.
Yeah.
What would be your...
Thank God, I wish I was 36. Here's the thing. To be honest, with the amount of, I don't want to call it investment I've put in my kids so far. I have 2 beautiful girls. But the way I've grown with them and I've loved them, I don't care. I'm their father. If this kind of situation happened to me, I'm your father. Yeah. I'm your dad. Nothing is going to change.
In any case, she's dead. How would you find out exactly who the father was so you could return him? Because if you go through the thread, people
were saying, people were saying stuff like, we're related to, and that shouldn't be the case. You should be able to treat everyone like a brother or a sister, or for you, like yourself, that you're a virgin. You shouldn't want to sleep with anybody. But in general, in general, to be honest, if you've loved those kids, as a father should love them. That shouldn't be your problem. Finding out that they were not yours.
But that's us as fathers,
We the fathers, it shouldn't hurt.
That's us as fathers. But these kids here, these gentlemen here, do you think before going into marriage, you're going to tell your wife, when we have our kids, we're going to have DNA tests just at the beginning and all of that? Do you think it's something that should be on the table for conversation?
In my opinion, I think it should be something that should be on the table.
Hey,
because this day and age, I think everything is becoming...
checking.
Yeah, it's becoming so
So what happens to love and trust?
I mean,
don't you love her enough to trust her?
It's part of trust for you to be able to lay the facts on the table. Let me just put it that way. To be willing and ready to...
Makes sense.
You understand?
Wait until you're married.
Well,
it's not that easy when you're married. I mean, Hero, you agree? Do you agree? Do you think?
I won't dispute the fact that it can seem one kind of way if you just go and ask your partner. Let's have a
Hero,
test.
you're married.
Yes.
Are you married?
No, that's an as you just said.
Very unlikely.
All right.
Let's say you're married, wife, 2 kids, and then you go to your wife and say, "Baby, ha, nice kids, yeah, thank you." But
They look like Mazino.
They look like my neighbor.
but I was wondering if we could just do DNA test,
You know, just conversation of prenup, having to sign prenup before you get married, just in case you guys decide to go your separate ways, nobody's going with your properties and stuff. I genuinely believe that every relationship should be built on trust, right? On blind trust. Loving someone is giving the person the license to hurt you. So
I know what that is. It's like putting your male organ on the table, giving the lady the hammer, and saying, "Be gentle with me."
Exactly. So that's it. I think it sets the wrong tone.
Listen, let me tell you something that's happening in my ear. Even the director felt that pain. But guys, what do you think?
Okay, here's the painful thing. I hear you guys, tossing in the whole love and trust situation. Okay. But here's the thing. I meet a woman, I love and trust her, but she needs to introduce me to her family and me to her family. We want to get married, we still have to sign a document, sign a certificate, and all of those things. If there's love and trust, you still need to sign those things. You get where I'm coming from?
That's the same angle.
There's love and trust. You still have to sign those documents. You still have to put pen to paper. But there's love and trust. You still have to get consent and approval from the families and whatever. But there's love and trust. Now we have kids, we need to sign the birth certificate as the father, as the parents. There's love and trust. So now, why is it there's no love and trust when I say I want a DNA test? Here's the funny thing: with the DNA test, it's even good for the mother and father to have it to make sure the babies weren't swapped at birth.
Thank you, gang.
So it's not just about the man. Let's have this DNA test at birth.
It's a it should be a social thing.
This wasn't swapped.
Like a policy.
You're the mother. I'm the father.
That makes sense.
So that makes sense. But the problem now, people just ensure, you know how they say in the Nigerian culture that it's the mother that knows who the father be.
Let's have a DNA test. And the one particular one, she's laughing in my ear now. One very windshield person like this was like, how dare you ask me? How dare you ask me? Why are women so averse to that curiosity from their partners? Like, hey, let's just do it. Why are you so angry? Why is it?
Because for so long, the attention has been on men as the legendary cheaters, right?
I guarantee you that if there was a test, that men could take to show if they cheated on their wives, women will ask those men to take that test.
Exactly.
And they won't see anything wrong.
They don't see anything wrong.
That's what I'm saying. So now the tables are turning. They're like, oh, wait, now you guys want to give us attention? No, we don't want that attention. It's a man's thing to cheat. A woman would...
Don't get caught.
It's just that they're better at it than we are.
So are you saying that men are dumber?
We are. No,
I'll say we play dumber.
No, gang, we're dumb. Gang, we're dumb. We think with our nether regions.
I know we're dumb. I just want to say I just said we play dumber.
Women are so smart that they will get away with everything, and the moment that you just leave one small hotel receipt.
Oh, wow. Add 1 and 2, and 2 and 3.
CIA, FBI. Investigation commences. How to catch a cheating husband and everything. Listen, we'll never get to the end of this, but I don't think that there's anything wrong.
There's nothing wrong with it.
In my case, nature was very, very good to me. She's a carbon copy, so there's no point, there's no question to be asked.
I think I need to take a DNA test.
Like your dad, everybody knows your father.
Not exactly. It's just the hairline that is the same.
That's enough. Now, what else do you want?
No, it's not enough.
You want him to zip down because the family compare organs?
I think I actually look like my landlord while growing up.
Hey,
wahala.
Don't worry, my father.
We'll get back to that.
Right, your father was a landlord. So, I was about to say your landlord because I've been good looking.
So, we got this topic here, which I'm not very comfortable with. I'm just gonna glance through it. Yeah. Why you should avoid having financial dealings with men who worship women. This is a Twitter personality. Her name is Shadaya. She says, avoid having any financial dealings with a man or men who worship their women because removed, he has been castrated. It's just so painful. If a man has to always involve his woman or has to ask for permission from his wife, that is a sign of a defeated man. A man is supposed to be the head of the house and decisive without seeking approval. It's from a single woman.
Obviously.
I don't know, but when you get married, the way I understand it, being married for 9 years almost, is that your wife, and this is a lesson to you too, is your wife is you. Your wife is a partner. You can't make a decision without your wife. So why bring us under a microscope and start saying that he's been emasculated or castrated and stuff like that? Gang, I don't know. I will be surprised if you don't agree with me.
No, I agree with you 100%. But like when I read this topic, I think this is going toward their relationships or with their women, and the women are basically in control of everything. Because I read part of the story, and it's a situation whereby the guy presents everything to his wife to get an approval. And if the wife says no, it's not going to happen. You know, that kind of situation. Yeah. So in that kind of situation, this is not a real man, if I can say that. You get me? Because there's a way you should be able to show that you are...
How much do you love your wife?
Me?
Yeah.
110%.
Thank you very much. Same here, even 120. So, and if your wife says to you that, honey, I don't think that glass should be close to you, maybe shift it away, what would you do?
I would ask questions. We'll have a discussion and say, what exactly is the problem with the glass? What do you think the glass should be? How does the glass affect?
And if what she's asking makes sense.
If it makes sense, then you can
academically sound, says so and so, and I see what she's saying. What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's love.
Because
I mean,
I would like to, you guys are not married yet.
Her.
There's a certain intuition that women have. There's an extra blessing that women bring to the table. Especially if you and your wife are in agreement on certain situations, you can see yourself grow and prosper and not make certain mistakes. You can seek advice and your wife will say, I don't think you should do that thing. I'm getting a kind of vibe. And she could be right on the money. You get me?
Right.
But she's not controlling you. She also comes to you with similar things as well. But in this kind of situation, this is a man that whatever the wife says goes. That's the only way I can look at this story and make sense of it. You get where I'm coming from?
Or another way to make sense of it is that the person that tweeted this listens to Andrew Tate.
Oh my God. Okay, yeah. Right. Misogynist. I'm not an Andrew Tate fan. I find him quite irritating. It's like it's what you call them. It's like a bum. It's like a rich bum to me. He just says anything that comes to his mind. But whatever the case, man. But when you get married, I will tell you something.
If he will get married,
I will get married.
That's your question. If you will get married. Even when you do get married, I suggest listen to your wife. There's too many times my wife has been so accurate and I've gone the other way. And I've come back to say, well, baby, you were right. It's so now I listen to her. That intuition you spoke about, it's the real thing.
I see it.
Absolutely real.
I'll actually chip it in. You know, if you grow up in a family where everything is, you know, all intact, a nuclear family, your father, your mother, you see as a child, you're no different from the father. Do you understand? When your mother says this to your father and you see it comes out, you just get that cue that.
right?
Apart from, I think in our, let's say in our culture, our mothers are more spiritually inclined. We can bring it to that angle of spiritual. Do you understand? So they always tend to get it right when it comes to.
You know when they're always right. When your wife says to you, your partner says to you, that girl, I don't like her.
Like her. Then you start to second guess.
Believe her, run away. That's all I'm going to say. They have that.
Preach.
Yeah. All right. So next quick fire here. Apostle Emmanuel Okose says you can't.
Personally, for me, I don't. That's untreaded territory for me in a relationship. I don't believe in opposite sex best friend. Do you understand?
Inside or outside the relationship, you just don't believe that your best friend should be a female.
It's going to sound one kind of way if I paint it that way, but like I just feel like there must have been something there.
There must have been,
or there is not this, but then like almost, or there's an attraction there. Do you understand?
In that situation, then why don't you date your best friend?
Exactly. Get married to your best friend. Have kids with your best friend. No need for DNA tests.
Have a best friend, but let that be the partner you have.
Exactly.
Marry your best friend. Date your best friend.
Preach.
Yeah. You're preaching, Greg. I mean, he has a
word. Hero. As a hero.
Let's hear from Hero. Let's hear from Hero.
I've been silent on that. I mean, this is how I comfortably just.
So who's your best friend? Who's your guy? Guy or girl?
Girl.
He's a girl. That's what we're saying. That's what we're saying.
Here, I suspect girl. Your best friend is a girl.
Yes.
Okay.
She is a
you
girl.
have a partner.
Yes, she is the partner.
She is the partner. Okay.
Yes.
See, I don't like when people plan.
Okay.
I don't like when people plan and come to the show. No. So now that your bestie is your partner,
yes.
Do you have another person who's close to being a best friend who's of the opposite sex?
Would
you have somebody else who's the opposite sex and who's close to being a best friend?
It's dangerous.
It's dangerous. But do you?
No, I don't.
You don't. Will you ever? Do you think that you could? You should.
I wouldn't.
Is it allowed?
No, it's not allowed.
So let me ask you, would you allow your wife to have a best friend that's a man?
That is a man. No, because I don't have a best friend that is a woman.
Why are you restricting her? Why can't she have a best friend as a man?
Because I don't trust men. And I know what's up. And I know that in the... I should be her best friend, to be honest. Because the best friend of anybody has the person's ear, even much more than their partners. So if your partner is not your best friend, trust me, you have a competitor, whether male or female. You're competing for the person's attention. So, the bestie says something to her, and then you say something to her, and because she trusts her best friend so much, and she trusts you so much, everything is just hitting up. So, like, you have a competition. So if, as a man, your wife has a female best friend and they are so close, I mean, she can be the one that is feeding her all of those information that is causing problems in the household.
Yeah.
So yes, I just generally...
In a friendship, there's a case of like two guys.
You can't really
have two girls
best friends.
And one guy that are so close, and two of them, maybe the guy and one of the girls, eventually get to marry each other. Obviously, the other girl is going to be your best friend.
Yeah, but eventually, when you guys get married, the two gets the other person in the relationship, you have to go their way. Like it can't be the same.
It will still be your friend, right?
Not best friend.
Not best friend.
Listen, I know you're looking at a menage a trois situation. So let's not take it there.
Yeah.
But I get where you're coming from. Yeah, you can have friends.
Okay.
The way I see it, you can have friends, but that categorizing as a best friend, you can no longer have if it's not your partner. You can have friends that are close to you, but they're limited into their place in your life now that you have a partner or you have a wife.
Okay,
so it's just that simple.
In the past, I had a very different preference or very different opinion about this, but I'm just simply going to say that it's dangerous, like you said, but you and your partner have to note that you are individuals. You and your partner have to note that love, trust, fidelity, and all of that are very important factors. And trust, whether you like it or not, is the biggest factor. If that is compromised, if you restrict your partner and say, no, you can't do this, you are going to impede on his individualism.
Right.
And that is unsafe for a couple. I'm just going to leave it there. I'm not going to go to it because these things have come up in my life before. I'll just leave it there. Get why? Let's take a break. We've got more to talk about. Remember our main topic for today. We're talking about distance in relationships and everything. So do stay tuned. Still the Black Table. Let's replenish our drinks, and when we get back, we'll be more inebriated. Sorry. We'll be more positioned to talk about our main topic. We'll be back.
Always treat your bros the way you want to be treated. Bro code.
What is better than your view on weekdays? Your view on the weekend. Something special, something more. We have an extra dose of premium television experience. Your Saturday is about to get upgraded with more engagement, information, and special moments.
Let me speak PG. English is a problem. Don't see your parents finish.
Yes.
I don't know another English.
And it's not by big thing.
Join us from Saturday, the 15th of April, 2023 at 9 a.m. for the weekend edition of Your View. Join the intelligent, dynamic, inspiring, and fearless ladies of Your View as they have the difficult conversation,
the thuggery and intimidation.
on Nigerian television.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw ether material slabs stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Entertainment Splash every weekday 12 noon to 2 p.m.
You're welcome back. What an evening it's been with Hero, Dotto, and of course Mr. Gang. My name is Mazino Appeal. This is the Black Table. Remember the hashtag is the Black Table on TVC. Please make sure that you send in your comments because at the end of the show, we're going to be reading all your takes and everything that we've talked about. We've got our main topic here today with us. Now, Leo da Silva, that big brother guy, remember that guy? Did he win and then he just left? We didn't hear anything about him again. What a waste of fame, quite frankly. I went there. Now, he said that if you have a partner that has never traveled before, if the person eventually travels, there's a surety that that is the end of your relationship, which brought us to our topic for today. And we're asking, long distance relationship, does time and distance change the dynamics? You ever dated anybody outside the country? I had a long distance relationship once. Now, I used to live in Festac and she used to live in Isolo. That was long distance. I'm not doing anything. Right. I got married to my wife. My wife lived in Festac. That's how I don't do long distance. I can't do long distance.
I relate.
But do you think he's got a point in what he's saying?
I mean, this particular topic, there are two ways to look at it. To be honest, it's like a reflection of both sides of the coin. I mean, like, when you say long distance relationship, it works for some, it doesn't work for others. So we can't just pinpoint that,
How physical are you in relationships?
Very physical.
Oh, you have to have sex.
So it doesn't work for... No, I'm not talking about sex. I think
then what
I'm
do you
talking
think
about the little things. I'm thinking about the little things from, like, you know, could even be smelling of the hair. Could be like just holding hands.
Smelling of the hair.
I mean, it's a lot.
Essential man.
It's a lot. It's a lot, to be honest. But like in a relationship, I think not really a fan of long distance.
Not a fan of long. This one is long distance basis.
I'm in a zero. I'm in a zero.
He doesn't look physical. He's
many long things. Come on. How would you know? How would you know?
Somebody check his alcohol. But what do you think?
So I'm going to start. First of all, you is my friend. This bullet that you gave him hits my chest.
You don't see
But I get where you're coming from. But I think he's doing quite well for himself.
He is. He's doing well. Talent and everything.
Real estate. I know you're just jabbing. That's normal.
Hey, that's what we do on the show.
I know it's not personal.
It's not personal.
It's not personal.
I'm going for numbers. I have to make this show trend.
So come on the show.
You're welcome, man. Leo, you're welcome.
Right. But long distance, it doesn't work for a lot of people. Also, I wouldn't recommend it because the last long distance experience I had, it ended in tears. So I dated somebody.
Sorry, let me clear my
I was dating a girl immediately after high school. We started quite
secondary
early.
School guy.
Sorry, secondary school.
Go on.
Let me say I even go school for.
Never even come on.
All these Gen Z, they don't change everything. So yes, so we started dating in secondary school, through JAMB and everything. So I got into Univen, she got into Madonna University.
Long distance.
That's how we separated, right? And we were so in love. You know the kind of love that you guys will be making midnight calls. You don't want to quit the call.
You need time of extra cool.
Exactly. I'll be like, babe, cut the call. No, you cut the call. Cut the call. Then you will now say, oh yeah, let's cut the call. Nobody will cut it. So, it was sweet. And, that kind of relationship that you guys are names for your kids, your born children. When you don't even have any money in your bank account. You are planning the future of children that you cannot feed, You
don't like you.
Yeah, so it was that kind of, I thought that I was going to get married to her. She was literally the love of my life. And I know for some people, they say I was a kid, right? I was 16. But we dated for 4 years. That means I was 20 at the time it ended. As at the time it ended. And how did it end? So apparently, because of the distance, obviously there were other men that were quite serious, you know what I mean? And she kept on telling me that, so man came to the house asking her parents for her hand in marriage, and she kept on telling her parents I have a boyfriend, and the parents knew me. So eventually I had to go to her house, and I met the mother, and the mother told me straight to my face that you are still a small boy. You cannot take care of my daughter.
Men were driving Genesis every day.
So it was quite a battle for a couple of months. Like towards the
so it's not your thing, long distance anymore, is it?
Now?
Yeah.
I can still do long distance.
You can still do long distance.
Yeah, I can still do long distance because personally, I'm not so much of a physical person, or perhaps I haven't explored the physical part of me.
Okay.
To a certain extent, like. I know I've already said I'm a virgin.
No.
But I can...
Listen, the bricks are aligning. It's making sense. I'm almost believing you now.
Okay. So, yeah, I am more of a very, emotional... I don't know how to explain this.
Intellectual type,
conversational. Be there, engage with me mentally. That's why... Even all through school, while I was doing the long distance, I had a lot of female friends that would come to my apartment, they would sleep over, nothing would happen. At some point, they were like, Hero, are you sure you're not? BTQ. So, but I'm just like, no, I'm not, a girl and a guy, right?
Someone like you, who's in the eye of the of the public and everything, who has your preference, who talks about your preference as boldly as you do. I think it's a very fantastic thing. I've not met anybody like you who advocates this celibacy. Let's just use celibacy, and that's a very encouraging thing. Growing up conservative and everything, I think that there's not enough people like you. I'll be honest. But now that I've gotten my honesty out of the way,
So yes,
but no, seriously, I think
I can.
That's great, man. That's
but it's very dangerous, extremely dangerous, because you don't know who's wiping your partner.
So good.
There comes trust.
Guy, I'm coming, but now let me tell you. Let me tell you a story of a friend that I have, my best friend called Yemi. I'm not gonna say or something, I can't remember, but they were dating and then she went out for NYSC. He remained, and then they decided not to have anything physical. They were not having anything physical, but she went to NYSC. Long distance relationship started. They would do extra cool and everything. Eventually, when she came back, she was like, let me tell you the story of this person now. She went to NYSC camp, started calling Yemi and telling Yemi that, Yemi, you don't mind this stupid boy. He's always saying he wants to toast, he wants to do this. I didn't give him face. By the time she came back from NYSC, guess who disvirgined her? The same
stupid boy.
The same big age. I mean, mine was very similar, but mine was more painful because it was marriage. So she came over, and she came to visit me in Benin. We had our whatever, because we're both virgins. We wanted to do it on our wedding day. That was the plan, right? So we never got to that part. But yeah, I felt like there was something different about the way she kissed me. She kissed me passionately, like she was about to betray me. You know when Peter kissed Jesus? I mean, Judas kissed Jesus on his forehead. That was exactly how it felt. I felt there was something different about that energy. And then the following day, she said she was traveling back home, and then it was her introduction. And I didn't even know. It was from my friend that I found out. My friend found out from Facebook and called me.
Is this a movie?
No.
That must have really
I talked about it in my comedy special.
Get a screenwriter, man.
I talked about it in my comedy special. I did a comedy special.
We'll give him one after the show, but gang, you go.
Now, for me, there was something Dotun said that's so on point. Distant relationships, it works for some people, it doesn't work for some people. But I wouldn't recommend it. Even for me now, let me say, I've kind of been in a distant relationship, but it was when I was married. My family was in Abuja, I was in another state. In fact, it happened on 3 different occasions. My family was in Abuja, I spent like a year in Port Harcourt. My family was in Abuja, I spent another year in Oyo State or Ibadan. Then my family was in Abuja, I spent like 3 years in Lagos. So there was a lot of back and forth. But that physical element, because she was my wife, I knew we could do this.
Yeah,
she's not going anywhere, I'm not doing it. Exactly. If it was boyfriend and girlfriend, there would have been a problem. But the longest time because yes, to get service as well. Yes, I needed the service because I would never knock a Lagos girl. They're not well.
No. We need to advocate. Lagos girls are the best girls. I'm not asking how I know that.
No. What Gang just did was set for himself a safety net.
So
I like what you did.
So you get where I'm coming from. I would never step out. You get where I'm coming from. So because of that, it worked for me because I made sure that there was a physical element, and then there were kids involved as well. And I didn't want to be called uncle with my kids. I wanted to be called dad. So I had to make myself physically present. There's something about a physical presence with the person that you love. Distance only works when your relationship is with God. Wherever you are in the world, you're with God. You get what
those guys that are immigrating to Canada and leaving their wives behind,
here's the funny thing.
Sending their wives
now, there's something,
to Canada.
and please, women, correct me if I'm wrong when I say this. It's easier for women to stay celibate. It's easier for women to stay without sex, to stay without that physical connection, than it is for men. So a woman can say, I dated one of my first few relationships when I was a teenager. I dated a girl for 2 years, and it was a non-sexual relationship. You get where I'm coming from? So it's easier for women to stay without. For men, you're married or you're in a relationship, it's not that easy for you to stay without when there's one girl that says, I know you're with somebody, but I'm willing.
Gang, hang on a second. I know why it's easier for women. First of all, one thing I've gotten from what you say is that if you're going to be in a long-distance relationship, the only network that you need is GOD. Fantastic. But women can stay longer because twice.
Okay, yeah, women have the tools to use to keep themselves satisfied.
But men have the cheapest tools.
What's that?
Your left hand. It's okay. Tell you guys what.
Yeah.
Now I've begun to believe that you're a virgin. He was literally stated.
There's only one surefire way to know. Yeah. You have to check his biceps. His one is bigger than the other.
Oh. His right hand. His right hand. You only done. That's what we get.
Let's take a break on that bombshell. We'll be back with your messages. More minutes. Oh, we're back. Thank goodness, because we don't have any time. We've got plenty. Yeah, we are back.
Wow.
We've got so many messages that I want to try and see if we can get through all of them. So I'll shut up now and get into it. Thank you very much, Outlook.com, our very best texter. Thank you very much. Every single night you're here. We love you. You are our MVP. He says, Mazino, come back. I want to carry you go Maldives.
Oh, dude.
I ain't guy or girl. I'm married, by the way. I'll carry go Maldives. You think say you think say we want go pray for there? Now wow. True. We asked the same question. Did she think that they were gonna have like night vigils and stuff and everything? That's why we use the term naive, because it just seems like after everything you've heard about everything that's going on.
Maldives.
About Maldives.
But I can do it, Sha. I can take a girl to the beach.
Hero, you are special. It's good, and I mean that. I mean that in a nice way.
Yeah,
you are a special breed. So yes, I believe you. But with the kind of men that you have in Lagos that driving G-wagons and they did not tell you that Maldives and they're married. We didn't ask. This man that asked you to go to Maldives with him, is he married? And why would she even...
What's the relationship? I like what you said, because you will communicate.
Yeah,
you will let the person know that I don't even want, I'm just going and there's extra space in the private jet. Just come along. What's the big deal?
Do you understand?
You communicate that.
It's that she didn't think to ask, will I have my own room? That really bothers me. I mean, how naive can you be? It's just a question.
What if the guy was trying to cut costs? I don't want to sleep with you, but be in the same room. I'll sleep on the floor.
You don't even need to sleep on the floor. We sleep on the same bed and nothing will happen. I'm not an animal.
Yes,
of course.
Exactly. Nothing will happen. Just 9 months later.
You find out something happened.
That Susan says, Mazino, Dawson, hey, what's up going on? What's up? Dawson has cleared that he is single. Oh yeah, let's go to Maldives. I promise you, we are not praying.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh, you got fans.
She wants that D.
She All right. Seriously, guys, come on. Let's get to the main meat of stuff now. Enough jokes. And Felix here says, if I found out that my late wife lied about my children and that they really aren't mine, I'm gonna wake her up from the grave because what? He says, but what can you do? She's dead. You have no way of finding out who the real father is. You've invested so much love. Once you've started, I am of the opinion that once you bad about them to another person. In the case of a father, especially if you have daughters like this guy, I mean, it is impossible to eject that love. Now add the factor that you don't even know who their parents are, you paid school fees for so and so years. What the heck are you going to do? You have to keep on loving them. You have no choice.
Like for me,
reward is from God.
Even if you come from think of the kids. They're innocent of this. They have no idea what's going on. You get where I'm coming from? To them, you are daddy. You are everything. And mommy is no longer here.
They have nothing
You now
else.
want to break their hearts based on what? You are their father. Biologically, you might not be that way. But when you look at it, you are a father to people that are not, you get where I'm coming from. So you should be able to just keep that love going.
But I know it's also hard. It's easier said than done because there's also a phase that the man would have to go.
Just adopt them and just.
I think the betrayer has paid for it already.
Yeah. The betrayer is gone.
It's gone. You can't visit that hatred or that anger
on the children,
on the kids. They're totally innocent. So why would you do it? But wives, it's okay for your husbands to ask for DNA tests because I've heard too many stories. I told you guys once about this lady I know who said to me, "Oh, my husband is AA, but my kids are AS," and I said to her, "It's impossible." And
no, say that again.
I said to her, "It's impossible. My husband is AA, but my kid is AS."
Is she AA as well?
I can't remember how
if they're both
AA, makes sense if she's AA.
If they're both AA,
it's impossible.
It's impossible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I said to her, "It's impossible that they are so." And she's like, "What do I mean?" And I went on to explain to her, biology major, by the way. And then she was like, "Oh wow, I have to make sure he never finds out then."
Whoa.
My experience. Not that this is not a second-hand story. Like, so there are people who you might know that actually are in this situation and are hiding it from their partners.
Wow.
It happens. It's real.
See, let me even tell you how bad it is. Do you know that there's some women that 110% will swear to God that you are the father? There's one case that happened like that. They found out that it was from birth that something happened to the baby. So the woman, they kept on making feel as if the woman had cheated, and the woman swore everything. They did their investigation and found out that something had happened at birth. Yeah. So there's no real big deal in asking for a DNA test. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You shouldn't take it personal.
Right.
Things are happening in the world. It just helps us confirm that we are the parents.
So if you're 5'2", yellow, and with a gap tooth, don't take it personal. It's okay for us. Relationship than couples who are geographically close, and higher levels of dedication to their relationship and less feelings of being trapped, underline trap. I am enjoying mine, and I'm going to see her soon. So yeah, whatever works.
I can agree with that.
I want to say that this is a theory I think my parents tried out. So for the longest time, my mom was working in Delta States while my dad was obviously working in Anambra, where we all grew up. And every weekend, she would come back to the house. And then on Monday, she goes off. And this happened for years. Years! I don't know how long. Back together. And it was as if they started their relationship all over again.
All over again,
Because then it was more or less like, you're in my space, you're in my space. We're used to being apart and then coming back to appreciate each other.
That's the thing.
You know, even when we fight, we know that by Monday you're off to work. You have 5 days to think about the fight.
Exactly.
And then you prepare yourself mentally and then you come back.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, you know, you guys just physically work things over. My mom would come and she would complain to us, "Oh, your father did this, your father did this." And we'll be in the room saying, "Oh, our dad did this, our dad did this." The next second she's in the master bedroom and then we hear,
you hear
stop it now! I'm like, wait, what's this woman that came?
she's beating ground. She's coming.
You're beating ground. And I was wondering, why was my father always repairing the bed every Monday? Like, bed would be fine on Friday. On Monday, are you a carpenter? Anyways, he was knocking a lot of things.
Exactly. Carpenters knock. That's what they do. I love this guy.
Oh my gosh! We have a thing here at the end of the show that we call just a tip. No, it's not what you're thinking.
I wasn't thinking anything.
I don't trust.
I wasn't thinking anything.
Listen, so just a tip is you just give a roundabout advice on everything that we've talked about, and you're giving that today at the end of the show. God,
the distance relationship.
Guys,
but there's one thing I say: the joys of a distant relationship. Most of the time is the fact that, like for me with experience, is that you always appreciate being missed. Being wanted.
Makes the heart grow fonder.
And you know, when I spent like 6 months with my wife at a stretch, you know, the fights and the arguments, she just be like, "I wish I wasn't here." Sometimes when you now cherish the little time that you have to spend are apart distance-wise, you have to make sure that you're together physically a little bit more often.
Right.
You know?
I mean, that's a very human stuff. It's a very human stuff, if we are being honest. Remember when we're in secondary school, where we always say that, you know, we miss home when we're in school.
Yeah.
And when we come home, we are tired of home. So
it's cute.
It's something that always
cute.
happens to every man.
It's about that time when we get just the tip.
Yeah.
Please don't go any further than that.
All right.
Just the tip. Roundabout advice. Everything that you heard today, let's hear it, man, from you.
Okay, from Dotun, I would just say, know what works for you as an individual. Love yourself, and long-distance relationship is something that you have to find out whether it works for you from your point of view. You don't have to make anyone it works for some.
Yeah, so
Yes,
pull
I know
out.
what
Oh my God!
I don't know where that came from. We said just the tip, man. Listen, Suzanne is still asking for your contact. I don't know if you're game.
Who is Suzanne?
Suzanne,
Instagram.
who are you? Hit him up on stage.
Hit him up on IG.
Don't add me to your mess.
Slide into his DM.
Jesus.
All these celebrities.
All these celebrities that we have here.
Listen, I'm telling you.
It's been a great time. I'll say that this is one of the best sessions that I've had here on the table. Thank you very much, gang, for holding it down for 2 weeks. Doctor, thank you for coming over.
Thank you so
I
much.
hope we'll find that pot of gold that you're guarding somewhere. Leprechaun. I have new respect for you, hero. Thank you very much for flying that flag and everything. Keep it going, man. And we'll always watch you on your game shows. We love it, by the way. And
whatever.
That's not
See you next week.
See you next week.
That's good.
We're going to see you guys next week.